I will now demonstrate our API management activity. We will use two simple web service processes, application and subtraction, to create an API calculator demo. This API allows us to manage multiple listener processes. So let's begin by creating a folder to store our processes in. We're going to call this folder API Management. Next, we're going to install our two processes, one API subtraction process and the other is the API addition process. Both will be coming from the process library. So I click on education and then I search up here and I type in API space A. You'll see my addition process. Choose my directory. I go back to the library and I change the A to an S. I get my subtraction process and I'll install that. Now my API management has two processes. It has API addition process and API subtraction process. Next, we're going to create our API component. We'll click on API Management folder and we'll click on the blue triangle and then select New Component. This will be API and we're going to call this Calculator Demo. Once again, it'll go into our API Management folder. We will call this Calculator Demo for the title. The version, we're going to call it 1.0. The version can be alphanumeric as well as have some special characters in it. For description, we're going to call it adding and subtracting. For the base configuration, it's going to be calc, and then your first name, and I'm going to enter Boomi Trainer. I'm going to click on Save, so we have this, and I'm now going to import my endpoints. So I'm going to click on the blue Import an Endpoint button. I'm going to import it from an existing process. So I will click on that checkbox. I will click on the green Next button. I will select the process. We're going to first select our API addition process. We're going to add it to both REST and SOAP and click Finish. Our second one that we will do, we'll do once again, import an endpoint. We will use an existing process. This time we will select our subtraction process and we're going to add that to REST and SOAP. We have finished those, so now we're going to click on Save to save our component. The next place we're going to go is to our REST tab, where we are going to change our methods for each of our endpoints. We're going to click on, for the addition, we're going to click on the little Add menu, the Actions menu, and we're going to select Edit Endpoint. We're going to change the HTTP method from the default of GET to POST. And then we'll scroll down and click OK. Once again, we will come to our Actions menu for subtraction this time, Edit Endpoint. We'll select Post, and we scroll to the bottom and click OK. We're going to click on Save so we keep them. If you click on SOAP, you'll see there is not much happening there. It contains similar information. However, we do not need to make any changes to it. The next place we do need to go is to the Profiles tab, the Profiles menu. The Profiles tab has information about the defined input and output profiles, and we're going to be using very simple profiles without defining their namespace, so it does not have much information. There is a profile standardization issue, however. We have two different profiles using the same namespace from the process library. So what we're going to do is we're going to standardize on one profile so the API can recognize which profile to use with the input as well as the output. So we're going to select the input first, and we're going to standardize on the input _ XML. We'll click on Standardize this profile. It'll ask us if we want to replace all of our conflicting profiles with this one, and we'll click OK. It was complete. So now what we'll do is we'll come to our output profile. Once again, we have two profiles. We have our output profile XML, and we have our output to profile XML. We are going to select the output _ XML, and we'll standardize on this profile. So now we will click on Save and Close. Let's go over to Atom Management. For Atom Management, we're going to select our Atom Cloud, and we will select our Shared Web Server menu option. The API type is listed as Intermediate, which is what we needed when we worked on web services. However, for API, we need Advanced, so we'll click the drop-down and select the Advanced button. And we will save it. And if you do not save it, you will get 400 level errors. Next, we will deploy our listener process to the web service. We'll find our developer 3. If we click on API Management, it will select API Addition process as well as API Subtraction process. We are going to deploy both of these to a production environment, so we will click on Save and Deploy. And I'm going to add initial deployment here. And click the OK button. So now both of those are deployed to the production environment. Now it's time to deploy our web service. So we'll come over and click API Services. Check our calculator demo, and we will deploy this to production. So it is now deployed to production environment. We are now going to test our API using Swagger. I'm going to come all the way over and select our API Management menu. The API Management menu, it defaults to all deployed APIs. Up here we do have the ability to configure our server. You'll see our API gateways, plans, and external authentication. Coming over to the next one, Configure APIs and Applications, will display our deployed APIs, which is a default screen displayed, as well as our applications. We can approve, and then the last one is the API dashboard. When we come over to deployed APIs, we can list them by name, by gateway, or by URL. We're going to go with the default, which is listing by name. What we'll do is click next to View. If you have multiple listed, you will have multiple lines here. You can click on View for the one that you want to run through Swagger. We're going to select this one. This causes the API component to slide in from the right. We're going to select the Rest tab. This will bring up our access to Swagger. Your base URL path, the Swagger reference, and the Swagger visualization port link may change depending on the regional cloud that you are connected to. We're going to click on the Access Swagger visualization portal. It comes up with the credentials as to who would like to access the portal. If you had multiple people, you would just drop down and select the one you want. This takes us into the portal itself. What we're going to do is we'll do addition. We're going to click on Post. In Post, we have our input XML. If I click on Try It Out, this now provides the ability for me to enter. I enter in two values for addition, 21 and 31 for the second value. If I click on Execute, the blue Execute button, it runs. First section is your curl line that's being executed. Code 200 means that it worked. This will give you the response body. What we're looking for here is the value, the response value, which is 52, which is what 21 and 31 is equal to. You can give this a try on your own with the subtraction, but as you can see, this is very easy to test out your API. This concludes our API activity.